folks.
It's a real thing.
The Edge Morning Show.
We're now in the approach phase. Everything looking good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Welcome to the Edge Morning Show.
With Chris Knight, Eric Johnson, Fox 2's Vic Faust, and Tabitha Hassell.
The Edge starts now.
My people,
You've got to wake up, please!
what?
Because I'm making fajitas!
Today, of course, is National Fajita Day.
National Fajita Day.
Oh, fajitas!
I do like fajitas.
Celebrate National Fajita Day.
Fajitas! Be careful! Very hot plate! Very hot!
Fajitas are served.
Come on, it's showtime!
Hey, it is showtime. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day.
That's right.
I'm more happy it's Hump Day than it is Fajita Day. Fajitas are good, yeah, it's all good.
Who
It's all
doesn't
good.
like fajitas?
Yeah, exactly. Who doesn't like a fajita?
I like fajita.
Fajitas go best with margaritas.
Yes, they do.
Man, I wish I had a
It doesn't
margarita
matter
right
if they're
now.
on the rocks. It doesn't matter if they're frozen.
After reading the news this morning, a margarita sounds really good about right now.
Yeah, no kidding. You know what, though? A margarita sounds good, whether it's the news that we have or whether you just woke up and won the lottery.
That's true.
A margarita sounds good. Welcome to The Edge, everybody. Yes, you found us, the one and only, the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio anywhere. Why? Because we bring it strong, separating fact from fiction, taking your calls, taking your comments, and, of course, bringing the best guests that we possibly can onto the show for the current topics that are rocking and rolling our area. Eric Johnson will be here, allegedly, in a little bit. Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Vic Faust of Fox 2. I got a lot of feedback yesterday on the banter between Tabitha and Eric.
Me too.
Maybe we need to have more of that. I like it. A little drama.
People were messaging me too. They're like, "What's wrong with
What's
Eric
wrong?
today?"
I
I'm
should have
like,
brought.
I think
I should
maybe
have
he
brought
took
it up without
some
Eric
I kind
here
of
to
chewed his
defend
ass a little
himself.
bit last night.
You did?
Oh, I did.
No.
Why?
I was with Eric last night.
Why
You
did you?
were? Did you guys have
Well,
some
yeah. Didn't you see their
cocktails?
pictures? That's why I get worried.
I did not see
Because
the
when
photos.
Chris goes out, he doesn't show up on time. And Chris was out.
What?
Chris has been partying a lot lately. He's out and about, and
They never
you know,
invite us.
when you have a son, well, I can't do it. I work. You're in your house all the
well,
time.
hey, I work too. I had to
or
work
you're
last
in your
night.
fortress in the woods somewhere.
I had to work last night too.
I thought you're digging holes and putting ammunition in and water bottles and
That's
things
this
like
weekend.
that.
Getting ready for the USA Taliban takeover.
Oh, is that what it is now?
But Chris was out at because Chris posts pictures. He shouldn't post pictures because he makes me nervous.
I didn't post anything.
Somebody posted pictures. You were out with your son last night.
Yeah.
See, I know, Chris. I know what's going on, dude. I'm in the media. I've got eyes everywhere. I'm a hawk. I'm a freaking hawk, Chris. I know where you are most of the time. If you
Well, why
leave,
didn't you show up then?
if you leave, dude, I work. I worked. I did. And here what I do once I get done working, it's become I go home, and I know my son should do it, but it's kind of become a father-son bonding moment for my son to try to put weight on.
You know,
I make him a shake, and then we talk because I don't get to see him a lot during the day.
yesterday, I didn't go out until after Sandy's last show.
Sandy, who?
Sandy Miller.
What's up with Sandy Miller?
I didn't go. Yesterday, obviously, was her last show at 6 o'clock. So I stayed home and I deliberately watched her last newscast. And that was really nice.
When was that?
Yesterday,
Sandy's last newscast was yesterday?
right?
Huh?
Wasn't that yesterday?
I'm just messing with you, Chris.
You were there? Or were you just there?
Hell
in
yeah, I was a part
spirit?
of it. I had to eat cake
That
twice.
was really nice what you guys did.
I had
the
to
whole,
eat cake twice yesterday. No, you know what? Though? We could have gotten a bigger cake.
Yeah,
Dear
but
God,
how
we got
big do
these
you
little
really?
cakes.
How really big do you need it?
You know, I love my station, but in this day and age,
Yeah.
you work somewhere 25 years, 30 years, and I'm sure people feel like this at the jobs that you work at. It's not like it used to be. I mean, Sandy's great, and it just, management doesn't really get involved that much anymore. At least in TV, they don't.
Well,
you can
it's
work
all
somewhere
corporate
25, 30 years, and like, hey, you get a little sheet cake. Where is it? It's in the refrigerator. You open where is it in the refrigerator? Oh, it's back there and look behind the water bottles. Oh, oh, you put a little cake. Oh, thank you. Thank
I
you.
thought it was nice.
Yes,
I thought
and we
it was
gave her a
nice
great.
what you guys did.
Well, Mandy, my colleague, did an incredible story on Sandy. I have to go through a Mandy. I remember when I first moved to Fox 2, Mandy, Sandy, and then in the mornings, Randy. Dear God, what is going on? So, yeah, Sandy retired yesterday. Very, very popular. We had an awesome lunch yesterday. Shirley Washington put on one of the best lunches that you could ever imagine for a coworker leaving. Did it at Herbie's in Clayton. It was outstanding. Said some of the best bread pudding. It was the best dessert I've ever had.
I love bread pudding.
And this wasn't just bread pudding. This was the gold standard
Really?
of bread pudding. Herbie's in Clayton.
Is that on their? I think that's on their normal menu,
No,
isn't it?
it's brand new, I think.
Oh, is it
They have a
new?
new chef.
We almost went there for lunch today.
Holy freaking moly. Amazing. So anyway, Sandy's retired. Had her last shows last night, but the best part about it is the fact that
She'll be with us tomorrow.
she's coming in studio live tomorrow, as Eric says, to set Tabitha straight, put Tabitha in her place, because
we go.
Tabitha's been getting a little lippy. And when another woman walks into the room, it's kind of like that little yappy dog.
Or we
that
might
little
gang
dog,
up on you guys.
That dog likes to yap, 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 yap. Likes to ankle biter dog. I think isn't that what Eric called you, an ankle biter?
I don't know.
Or a knee
knows?
buster or something.
Probably so many things.
Eric
And-
better watch out. He gets in here tomorrow.
We'll gang up on him.
Tabitha and Sandy. He might be in trouble.
From the Facebook line, Vic loves drama. You better believe it. On the edge. Anyway, Sandy's coming in tomorrow from 9 to 10. She's looking forward to it as well. So we'll welcome Sandy in tomorrow. We'll ask her questions, get her rocking and rolling on what we can, get her to talk about things that she'll talk about, and see how retirement life, day 2, is going. She was actually going out for drinks last night with her husband right after the show for something they hadn't done in a long time. So we'll see. We'll see where all that goes. All right, as for our show this morning, at 8:25, we are talking to Brad Young. He's going to give us a quick call. The hearing date, the disciplinary hearing date has finally been set for one
Finally.
Kim Gardner. It's coming up in February. Brad's going to give us the lowdown on all the details you need to know, what could possibly happen from that standpoint as well. And we're going to take your phone calls as always, 636-695-2915, 636-695. 2915. And of course, you can catch us on Facebook 100.7 The Viper. We love it when you share the show as well. We continue to grow and expand, and we love it. And it's all because of you guys sharing the show and liking what you're hearing. And of course, the comments that you give us as well. All right. We're also on YouTube still. What do you know? Believe it or not.
So far,
So good. Coming up this morning as well, we're going to hear a 2-minute speech from President Biden, which I think validates what Tabitha was saying yesterday. I think, and we'll let Eric get into that, but talking about how there was a plan. There was an extraction plan in place when he left office. And now the fallout from Afghanistan, bigger than all. We're talking about Americans now outside of the city of Kabul.
Yes.
And no
over 1,500. Well, they do have a plan.
Oh, okay. Allegedly, they said they didn't.
No,
as of this
there
morning.
is now a plan.
Oh, yeah. What's that going to be?
Believe it or not, and trust me, this is all propaganda.
I wonder how many billions of dollars it's going to cost us.
It could be a PR stunt on the Taliban part, or it could cost us money, or maybe a little bit of both. But so our Biden administration is now stating that we are going to count and rely on the Taliban to bring Americans to the airport so they can leave on flights to come back to the U.S. So we're going to trust the Taliban to extract. They're telling everyone, all Americans, shelter in place at your home. Do not leave your home.
At this point in time, I believe it.
The Taliban's going to come to your home. They're
I
going to
can
pick you
believe it.
up.
I can believe
and
that.
they're going to take you to the airport. And you know what? I believe it. And I think it will be fine. I don't think any of these
so that
Americans
they can
will
take
be hurt.
over their country and get us out of there and say, see you, suckers.
I think it's a two-part thing. I think one is they're not going to hurt American lives because Biden is a Taliban sympathizer. He's proven that.
What?
Oh yeah, Biden is
On
definitely
purpose?
Yes. Oh, absolutely so.
Okay. All right. If you say so.
Because he was vice president under Obama. Obama is a Sunni radical sympathizer.
Yeah, but isn't
funded
he the
them-
one that locked that guy up, Tabitha, that they just released out of the prison when they let all them people go? Obama's
Obama
administration
let
was in there.
The Taliban leader go during his term.
No, just now. Didn't they just let the guy go that, remember they let all
they
them
had
people?
Bo Bergdahl. They let him go in exchange for Taliban members. The guy who is currently the leader of the Taliban is the person they exchanged. So Obama let him go, and now he is leading the Taliban through this takeover in Kabul. I know, I'll say it right today.
It's Kabul.
I know.
You got Chris going wrong. I think you do it on. You know,
I don't do it on
when my
purpose.
grandma got old and started,
I really don't do it on purpose.
and started to forget where she
Hey,
was.
now let's not ageism. I think
She
that's
started.
against the law. Chris,
She started.
I want to make a complaint to HR.
She started. There's no HR at the Viper.
Ageism.
I'm the HR department here. Thank you very little. When she started to get old and lose her memory, she started to mispronounce words wrong, and
That's me.
we all thought that she was
That's me
doing it on
too.
purpose to be funny.
It'll be you too, Vic.
And-
You just wait.
Well, my eyesight was the first
You're
thing to go.
Only
Speaking
a
of
tiny bit
co-anchors,
behind me.
Speaking of co-anchors, I used to ask Mandy, why do you hold those little products and things you're trying to read like far away from your eyes?
It's because
And she said, well, it may happen to you, Vic, someday. Sure
That's right.
enough.
That's
Sure
right.
enough, in the last year, I'm holding products away from my eyes going, what, come on? I'm like turning bright lights on and shining my phone light on these. I can't read.
I'm almost to that point now.
Anyway, lots with Afghanistan to talk about. Okay, mask mandate. The judge in the St. Louis County mask mandate situation ordered Eric Schmidt and Sam Page to go talk it out.
I know.
This is one of the most ridiculous things that I think we've heard a judge say. And then what does Sam Page do? Even if Eric Schmidt would have given in and said, no, I won't file a lawsuit anymore. Page, you can battle it out with the county council and whether there's a mask mandate or not. What does Sam Page, the county council, do? Because I got a text about this last night. Vic, you going to talk about that on radio? It needs to be talked about. He puts a tweet out, a statement that says, I look forward to working with Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt and getting everybody in mask.
I know.
I mean,
I
know.
did see that.
That's a big F-U middle
Yes, it
finger
is.
to Eric Schmidt.
Yes.
And do you really think that set the stage for any sort of working together,
No,
any sort of
right.
synergy?
Well, what do
Hell
you get
no.
out of the judge making
the
that
judge does-
comment?
here's
What do you get out of
The
it?
judge does not, and the judge made this clear from her first comments when she did issue the restraining order because there was overwhelming evidence that, dun dun dun, the case was a state case regarding state law. I don't think she wanted to rule in favor of voting down the mask mandate in HB 271 because she basically said it's not my opinion, and I'm not going to give an opinion whether this is good or bad when it comes to the mask mandates and we're in a pandemic. I mean, she basically said she didn't agree.
Right.
But according to law, she had to favor with Eric Schmidt. So I think she's saying try to work it out because if they don't, she's not going to be able to rule in favor of a mask mandate.
Well, no, because that's why we have HB
Exactly.
271.
Exactly.
What is the point?
It's
in
all
it passing?
TV drama.
It is.
And it's BS.
And it's
we
tax
all
money.
know. And it's tax
Wasted
money.
taxpayer
And stuff's
money.
not getting done. And when I say stuff, I mean important duties throughout city council. That's why, Chris, because she knows she's going to favor Eric Schmidt because Eric Schmidt has law on his side.
She has
There will be
to.
no mask mandate.
Back months ago, you said that Sam Page, he likes to get his TV, his interviews. And now I see it more and more.
I don't know if I
and
said it
more.
like that.
Well,
I mean, he has a messaging problem and he needs to get on TV
Yes.
as much as possible.
exactly.
Which is why he's also hired a firm now for $1 million to $2 million.
$2 million
Fit an
now.
organization out of New York for image and consulting in regards to it's being presented as promoting the vaccine,
Well, he needs
but
it.
also it states clearly in the contract about his image and another doctor, their images and how to
$2
help
million.
of CARES money. Now, the federal procurement director there for the county is not even sure if it's legal.
I can't see how it could
So
be.
I don't know. That's a whole nother issue
$2
we'll get
million?
into today.
$2 million? Can you
there's,
imagine?
crazy.
There is so much going on.
Oh
So
my
that mask
gosh.
man, they're meeting today. It's not actually Page and Schmidt meeting. It's their attorneys. So Eric Schmidt, the state's top attorney, had to get an attorney to talk to Sam Page's attorney, who's a doctor.
That's insane. Do you know how far
Because
$2
the
million
judge,
goes?
it just sounds like it's more wasted time, more money, and we already know what the outcome's going to be. It's sad. From the Facebook line this morning, Nick Shore asking, Vic, has there been any, Vic, with all this talk on mask, I get asked both sides of this question. Is there any proof that studies mask work? What say you? N95s, I know, but what else? Yeah, N95s do. There's scientific proof of that, but almost nobody's wearing fitted N95 masks.
Right.
And the face coverings that we wear, what we have seen, there is no evidence yet. I keep asking. I want to learn. I want to know because my kids will be first in line wearing masks everywhere they go once we get it. So that's me answering a question. That's not me bringing it up. That's me being asked about masks. I don't know. I want to know. I want to learn. This whole show is open to learning.
But obviously there is no data because Sam Page has been asked for data numerous times. Rather than provide data, he spends $2 million with a PR firm to avoid giving data. That's what that's about. You know what? He could give somebody $2 million and they could create some fake data.
Well, we appreciate everybody joining the show and saying hi
Tabitha.
this morning as well.
He might do that.
Kelvin Carter, it's a choice to wear a mask, correct? No, it's not. Not in St. Louis City, there's a mandate. That did not.
How can there be a mandate in St. Louis City if it's state law?
No, because there was no vote. The state law was this, Chris. HB 271 gave the right to St. Louis County Council, where Sam Page would have to go to the council. Now, St. Louis City has not gone to their board of aldermen yet. They have not voted on it like the county council did. The county council voted down what Sam Page put in place. The board of aldermen would need to get together and vote down what Tashara Jones has in place, and they have not done that. If they did, then HB 271 would fall into place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I'm thinking like St. Louis City and county are all one now. Yesterday, Page and Tashara Jones come out and say, we're happy. Let's bring 1,000 Afghans.
Well, there's been units. Well, that's another thing we'll get into. There's so much to get into. We're going to take a break. We'll come back and talk about all this. My gosh, the mask stuff that's going on, the cases. Do you think this is a problem with kids' cases? And we'll tell you exactly how many kids are in the hospital with said COVID throughout the entire 2.8 million population area of St. Louis. Another school district decides to go enforce mask on a vote last night at the school board. We'll tell you what they did at that school district. My, oh, my. But we'll talk to Brad Young coming out of the break about Kim Gardner. Her new disciplinary hearing has been set. Plus, I said it yesterday. I want to say it again because all the nurses were listening today. There are tons of nurses, tons of doctors over at St. Joseph Hospital who took care of my friend Chad. He finally got the tubes out of his chest, I believe, yesterday, and finally walking. COVID did a number on him, and he made it through it. He wanted to give a big shout out to St. Joseph's because he got to see it day in, day out. The nurses, the doctors, everybody taking care of him in the situation because we all know people who've gotten COVID. COVID is real. It can really affect people. We know it can kill people. We do know that, especially people who have some sort of comorbidity. We'll also get into the fact, now we're being told by the St. Louis Metropolitan Pandemic Task Force that most of the, quote, breakthrough cases, the 16, 17, or 18% of the fully vaccinated people who are back in the hospital, we're being told now they are elderly and they are people with comorbidities. So they're saying that in regards to the vaccine being something that is beneficial to you unless you have comorbidities.
Well,
that's what we're being told.
Right. And let's not forget that yesterday we were told that 7 vaccinated people in New York have died from COVID. Fully vaccinated people.
And we don't know that. We need to know who they are.
And I don't
their
know
demographics.
Exactly. I don't know the specifics.
All right.
Of that.
Well, Eric Johnson has just walked into the building. We'll see if he's ready for round 2. Tabitha's already fired the first shot across the room. Dun, dun, dun.
I haven't said anything today, have I?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
You've already fired that missile over.
You fired the missile.
I guess I didn't realize
you threw a grenade, and it's a touch grenade. So as soon as he walks through the door, it's going to blow up. And here we go.
Here we go.
Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. It is the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. If you want to give us a call, you can. 636-695-2915. Of course, you can catch us on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper. Share the show as always. And you can take us on the go wherever you go. Stream us at viperrocks.com. We'll come back with all of that information, plus more, which we were just talking about, when we come back on The Edge. It's 8:22.
Edge Morning Traffic.
Viper traffic reporter Molly Rose. Overall light volume out there in St. Charles County on I-70 and 64. An earlier crash westbound on the Boone Bridge has been cleared. Not tracking delays on Highway 61 in Wentzville. Drivers also on the move on 79, 370 and the Page Avenue extension. Over in North St. Louis County, significant delays through the work zone 270 westbound from 367 to West Florissant. Off and on slowdowns for 270 drivers headed from South County up through West County, slowing from I-55 up through Manchester. I'm Fox 2's Molly Rose, and that's a look at your EDGE traffic.
The Edge.
Hi, this is Curtis Parks. I'm the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair. Now that things are back open, the vaccines are out, we are ready to get back to work. The kids are home, and I'm sure you're ready to go back to work too. We are hiring all positions. We are looking for everyone and anyone that wants to make life better for themselves, and we want you now. CompleteAB.com is where you apply. CompleteAB.com. Join the complete experience. No more sitting at home. Let's get back to work. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the car.
Hey everyone, it's Brian Dawson with Brian Dawson Roofing and Construction. I'm here to remind you it's time for exterior work on your home, so call me. I deal and work with all insurance companies. I also do non-insurance work as well. I know it's your money and your castle. I want and will do what it takes to make you happy with whatever it is that you want done. Roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and if I don't do it, I know somebody who does. So call me, Brian Dawson.
At 636-465-9465 or visit BrianDawsonRoofing.com.
It's like I blinked and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide. And we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The new Sleep Number 360 smart bed senses and automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. Don't miss our weekend special where all smart beds are on sale. Save 50% on the new Sleep Number 360 limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday.
If you have a calling to serve people in your community and help bring about positive change, come join us. Compass Health Network is currently hiring for multiple positions. We serve communities in 46 counties across Missouri and have a place for you. If you are a licensed therapist, nurse, integrated health specialist, dental assistant, office manager, or IT specialist, Compass Health Network offers a supportive work environment and great benefits. Find out more at careers.compasshealthnetwork.org.
Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters carries a full line of automotive parts and paints. They're a PPG Platinum distributor of automotive paint and industrial coatings and auto body shop supplies. For over 40 years, your hometown auto parts store is Midnight Auto. Stop in at Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters, just off Mexico Road, 447-4000, 447-4000, on the web at mid-niteautosupply.com.
Welcome to MegaNet. For slow internet, press 1. For indifferent customer service, press 2. For confusing pricing, press 3. For extremely long wait times, stay on the line. You are 87th in line, 85th in line, 87th in line, 85th in line, 85th in line.
Where there was frustration, now there's satisfaction.
Hello, this is Helen at Gateway Fiber. How may I help you?
Isn't it time you refreshed your internet provider? For more information, visit gatewayfiber.com.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Edge. Happy Hump Day, August 18th. Eric Johnson's here. Hello, Eric. Are you?
Hi.
Let's get ready to rumble. That was my best early morning.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Now you're going to get sued because he sues everybody that does that.
Uh-oh.
And no, as long as you give him credit.
Is that right?
Yes.
I did not know that part of it.
And that was different because my voice sucks so bad I couldn't even step into the ring, so to speak.
Okay.
No pun intended.
So if I
with
play
that beautiful voice,
if I record a Zeppelin song and it sucks because it would, I won't get sued. I like that idea. That's great. Hi, Tab. How are you doing?
Well, hello there, Eric. You seem fresh and bushy-tailed this morning and not drugged out like yesterday.
It's going to be one of those kind of shows. It's
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Eric
I'm
Johnson's
just
here.
teasing.
Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. You know what we do? I don't know if anybody's feeling prickly today. I know we had some prickly action going on here yesterday. Brad Young, our resident attorney and co-host of the morning show. Brad, are you feeling prickly this morning?
I refuse to answer one way or the other to that question.
Such an attorney answer.
But I will tell you that the legal advice that was just espoused, that if you do an impression and you do it badly, you won't get sued.
Right.
That's what we call $1 legal advice. It's worth exactly what you paid to get it.
That's awesome.
Well, it seems like nobody writes original music anymore. They just go out and cover everybody. So I didn't know how that all worked exactly.
Doing it badly is not a shield against litigation. Just let me tell you that right now.
Well, just let me say, Michael Buffer has made an amazing career out of that.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Yep.
I saw
He's notorious.
I read part of his bio.
If you use it, yes.
Exactly. I heard read part of his biography, and it was freaking amazing. How much money the guy is worth? It's insane. If people know what that, I mean, he's. I'm gonna blow your mind really quick before we get to other real news. $400 million.
What? Just to say, let's get ready to rumble, which I just got sued for. Just saying that.
That's all right. He's suing all of us, but we're
Okay.
giving him credit. The guy is freaking amazing with that. So anyway.
Yeah, but just so we're clear, you said that before I came on the show this morning.
That's all right. At least you're free legal advice.
Free legal advice,
Yeah.
good. Okay.
Brad Young, thanks for joining us on the show. As if we didn't have enough to talk about with mask mandates and Eric Schmidt and Sam Page, which we might be able to touch upon, with what's going on in the city, with the CARES Act funding, Lewis Reed upset, a lot of pastors in North County upset with what Tashard Jones did. Now we've got the Afghanistan situation going on. Teachers not wanting to go to school because of mask mandates. And here we go. In the midst of all of that, get us up to date on what's going on with St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner.
Well, I mean, I thought you were going to lead into the line from Ghostbusters: dogs and cats living together. That's where that was leading with all of the turmoil in the world. But in this instance, Kim Gardner, as we all know, as we've discussed many times on the show, she's facing ethics charges, which I predict will eventually lead to her being removed as a circuit attorney for the city of St. Louis.
You have said that.
Those charges were filed formally, I think it was in April, and now the Missouri Supreme Court has scheduled the hearing on those charges for February, which I know seems far away, but at this point, this is the civil equivalent of a criminal trial. In other words, there's going to be some depositions taken. There's going to be some other discovery done. And then this case is going to go to trial in February. And then after that, it's in the hands of the Missouri Supreme Court as to what happens. And as we've also talked about, in the event that the Missouri Supreme Court even suspends her law license or disbars her for a period of time, either one, at that point under Missouri law, she is automatically ineligible to be the circuit attorney, and the governor is empowered under state law to appoint her replacement circuit attorney.
So handicap it. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, he already said.
I think her law license will, at a minimum, be suspended for at least a year. I think that's the absolute minimum that's going to happen. I mean, the complaint against her is 73 pages long. So, and it's detailed, and it's factual, and it's irrefutable because it's video. There's video of her, and the things that she's filed with the court are a matter of record. It's not a matter of opinion. It's a matter of record. And so you can see on the video that she's committing the ethical violations. She files documents with the court, and then she never retracts it, updates it, or corrects the record. I mean, those things are, again, it's not, those are matters of fact. They're not matters of opinion. So I think at a minimum, you're going to see her suspended for at least a year, perhaps longer, with the maximum charge would be disbarment for a certain period of time. And again, the Missouri Supreme Court, they don't care about public opinion. Their jobs are not in jeopardy. And so it's not like they've got to do the right thing in order to go to the right parties because they're in Jefferson City and they don't have to go to the right parties. So I think you're going to get an accurate assessment of whether she's committed these charges. And I think ultimately it's going to mean a new circuit attorney for the city of St. Louis.
But what's crazy about this, Brad, is the fact that that hearing starts in February. Let's talk about a timeline for the possibility of things that you just said then, because it still seems like that's quite a ways down the road.
Well, it is down the road, but there's also going to be what we call discovery. There's going to be some depositions taken. Now, here's what we don't know. She's filed, her attorney, whom I know, her attorney has filed a request to seal the record so that information that's obtained during discovery will not be publicly available.
They'll probably get that, won't they, with her being a public official?
Well, here's I don't know, because I can't even remember in my history understanding or knowing that this has happened with a circuit attorney before. So I don't know how the Missouri Supreme Court's going to handle that. The charge is that if information is released publicly, that it could possibly be used by other defendants who are currently incarcerated or being charged with crimes to use that information for their own purposes with regard to fighting their own charges.
I have heard that that's happened in the past with other prosecutors.
I'm sorry?
I've heard that that's happened in the past when a prosecutor has sometimes lose their license over improprieties, et cetera. People that they have charged can go back and say, well, those charges shouldn't stick because this person obviously doesn't abide by the law.
Exactly. So that's why the court could issue a seal on that, and then we wouldn't know anything until after the hearing is over. So the court hasn't ruled on that yet, so we'll have to see how they rule, and of course, once they do, I'll fill you in.
It's overwhelming how incompetent every part of our government is right now, isn't it? I mean, you look at everything, because I'm trying to even get mad at St. Louis politics, even though it's the worst in the world. I look at Joe Biden yesterday, and I cannot get past how incompetent that administration is. You go to Tashara, her war on crime, which is not a war at all.
They're politicians. They're not.
I know.
They're not legal. They're not lawyers.
No, I know, but it's just, well,
We're talking about lawyer Kim Gardner.
I look at Kim Gardner as a leader. I look at her as making policy that's
yeah.
screwing up everything in St. Louis. Do me a favor and comment on this. How disgusted are you with our leadership right now on all facets? Tashara, hell, she doesn't have any police and her cousin gets killed. Wasn't that just what just happened yesterday?
She still wants to defund police regardless.
It's just, I have never seen this level of incompetence in our government ever.
Well, but can you blame them? I mean, you get the government you deserve, and in this instance, who would want to? I mean, if someone is qualified, if someone would be intelligent with it, wise and understanding, why would they want to run for public office and be shellacked on social media, to be open for public scrutiny for everything that they've ever done? I mean, let me give you a really quick example. That used to be done, is still done with Supreme Court nominees. So at some point when Bush 41 appointed David Souter to the Supreme Court, he did so on the sole basis that David Souter, nobody knew him. He had no record. Nobody knew if he did anything good or bad. He was the guy that never spoke. He was a completely unknown quantity, and that was why he was attractive for the Supreme Court. And it turned out that he went against all of the values of Bush 41 when he got on the Supreme Court. My point is that the greatest asset now, apparently, for public office is if you are unintelligent and you don't have a record. And that's what we're seeing.
You brought up Supreme Court justices. This is a law question. What do you say to conservatives who were so excited about Amy Coney Barrett getting the position that she was put into? And if you look at recent rulings and where she has come out on, she is, and I'll be curious for your opinion, my impression, she has not been the strong conservative Supreme Court justice today. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I have not reached that conclusion, and I'll tell you why. The opinion that she's received the most criticism about was the appeal from I think it was University of Indiana students who were appealing the vaccine mandate. Okay? Legally, she made the right call. I mean, I don't like it, but legally a university can enforce a vaccine mandate. And that's been done in the past with other vaccines. So just because an opinion, and that's the problem with mixing or analyzing legal issues through the lens of politics, because sometimes following the law means it's not politically popular to your persuasiveness, and so, or to your perspective. I mean, so that was a classic example where I think she made the right call legally. I didn't like it, but had she done it the other way, that's what's called judicial activism, and that's what really drives me crazy.
And you went
when
exactly
judges
to the
don't follow
case
the
that I
law
was
and
talking
they simply
about.
issue a legal opinion that matches their political persuasion and not the law.
You know what? Sometimes the people that try to mandate these laws are so bad that the state legislator has to come in and make a law to say, you know what, enough is enough. And I'm talking about yesterday's little decision that they had with the mask mandates. I don't know the name of the judge, but apparently the county and Sam Page needs to, negotiate or to compromise?
Yeah, well, this was the final topic we were going to talk with Brad. He can get into it.
Yeah, I want to just spend a little bit of time on this. What the hell does it mean what is a judge seeing where they go, you guys need to go into a room and figure this out? Why can't the judge just say, you know what, these guys made a law, they passed it, their city council came in and did exactly what they're supposed to do. There's no mask mandate.
Or county council.
The county council. Sam Page, sit down and try again. What is going on with this compromise thing?
I can tell you exactly what's going on here. It's the mixture of politics and law.
Bingo.
And that's not a good recipe.
No.
And here's what the judge this is the judge's concern. The temporary restraining order was due to expire yesterday. She extended it today for the purpose of making the attorneys work this out. Now, I get this all the time. Judges, every time I've got a case for trial, the judges always tell me to work it out because they don't want to have to sit through a trial.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
it
that's
never
not
does.
What's going on here? What's going on here is the judge wants there to be a mask mandate.
Correct.
But the judge knows there's no legal authority for a mask mandate unless it comes from the county council. And so what she's telling these attorneys to do when she says work it out, what she's saying is that how can you craft language that sounds like a mandate but is not a mandate under the law, so therefore we can get the best of both worlds.
But there is no best of both worlds in this situation, Brad.
There is no best
It's either
of both
mask
worlds.
or no mask. You can't wear half a mask.
Exactly.
It's kind of like being, sort of pregnant.
Exactly.
I mean, either you are or you're not.
And the judge will have no basis outside to rule for Sam Page of this. It's going to be 100% Eric Schmidt because law states so.
Exactly. So the judge doesn't want to issue an order that says a permanent restraining order against Sam Page. She doesn't want to do that. And so that's why she wants the attorneys to craft an agreement, which I don't think Eric Schmidt's going to agree to.
No.
We did. They did already. It is called a
This
law.
is all drama. It's all created by the judge. Eric.
And what we're talking about is the difference, to me, between an Amy Coney Barrett and a progressive judge. I guess you would call her a progressive judge. And those are the differences. One, Amy Coney Barrett was proving to keep politics out of it. It was you could probably go through the list and say this was sound legal judgment. It wasn't conservative, but it was sound legal judgment. And on the other side, there is overwhelming support for a non-mask mandate, and yet this judge still said, you know what, my hands are still clean. We're going to extend this. You guys go into a room, have a cup of coffee, and see if you can't figure this out. What?
Exactly. Eric, that's it, 100%.
So, Brad, when they come out of this, Sam Page, the county executive, Dr. Sam Page, came out immediately. Did you see his quote and said, I look forward to working with Eric Schmidt and where we're all wearing a mask? Was that now, I had a friend text me last night and said, Vic, that's a big middle finger to Eric Schmidt. Like, they're really going to be able to work things out after that?
Of course it is. It is a big middle finger.
Well, it's just frustrating.
And they're not going to work anything out because in the world of negotiation and leverage, Eric Schmidt has all the leverage. Sam Page has zero.
Then how come the teeter-totter's still out there?
There is no teeter-totter.
Yeah, there is.
Eric, there's zero teeter-totter.
Yeah. Well,
there is no mask mandate. There is no question about it. Sam Page can say Sam Page can say there's a mask mandate, but by law now there's not, and there's an injunction to get it.
Well, wait a minute.
That's like me saying I'm a doctor. Call me Dr.
Hold on.
Faust.
Okay, that's fine. On your website, it says battle over St. Louis County mask mandate continues today.
Yeah, but
that's
you
on Fox 2
but,
now.
Okay, but be smart to look past the headline, Eric. The battle But right now, you can say whatever it is, a battle, but that doesn't mean there's a mask mandate in place.
No, there is no mask mandate in place.
Eric,
Legally,
there's no mask mandate in place.
Okay, we always talk about the 4 branches of government. Media is, and I love Fox too. Believe me, it is the best in St. Louis.
That headline is misleading.
It is
and we
misleading.
talk about this all the time, but there's no mask mandate in place.
If we were to rewrite that, it would be the battle over St. Louis County mask mandate is now over. Because what we're talking about here, it is over, right?
No, technically, once the judge rules, then it's over.
Wow. Okay.
I am so tired of mask
that's
mandates.
Right. The judge hasn't issued a permanent restraining order or issued a final ruling, so it is still a battle.
But today, there is no mask mandate.
Today, the mask mandate temporary restraining order is going to expire unless the judge extends it another day, puts the attorneys into a death match cage wrestling, and say, you guys work it out, and whoever comes out alive wins.
I don't know if I'd want to get in a cage with Eric Schmidt, and I stay in shape.
I'm out. I'm out. I'm out.
How about
Brad?
Sam Page?
Yes.
Before you
How
go,
about Sam Page, Eric?
Before you go, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I want to ask you if you, and I know this is kind of on the spot, do you believe that the $2 million that Page has paid to this Fenton company, which is a PR firm, to basically improve his image, is that legal? He took the money out of the CARES Act.
Boy, I just recently became aware of that issue, and I haven't had a chance to research it. And I don't just, shoot opinions off the top of my head. If I don't know it, I need to research it. And this is how you know that I've got honesty and integrity, because when was the last time you ever heard a lawyer say, I don't know?
Right.
Oh, I know. You tried to convince
but I don't
Tabitha
know
for
the
about
answer to
3
that
months
question.
that Trump wasn't going to be coming back as president, and she wouldn't listen. And
It's never too late.
Okay, never mind.
It's never
too late.
So you're saying there's a chance. There we go again.
No, and I figured
Well, if you
I
get a
was putting
chance to
you on
check
the
into
spot.
that, Brad, keep us posted.
Definitely so.
I will. And that's on my to-do list of looking into that. And once I come up with an answer, Tabitha, you will be the first to know.
Thank you.
Oh,
I
from the
appreciate
Facebook
that.
line, does Brad have any inside update on the Page subpoenas? The subpoenas that went to Page regarding his second job.
Yeah, I just know those are still pending. In fact, I talked to someone just about late last week. Those subpoenas are they're still waiting. The county council is still waiting on the documents from the anesthesia firm. It's not been sequestered. In other words, the information is not going to be put under seal. So once we get those records, we should have access to that.
Is there a way?
That it's pending.
Is there a way that he can talk himself out of this if the subpoenas come back and go, yeah, this guy was here at 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock doing this procedure? I mean, even if it's just one, is there a way that Page can talk his way out of it?
Well, the question is going to be, does that violate the county charter? And and the county charter specifies that the county executive is to devote his or her full-time resources to that position. And so the question is going to be, does whatever it is he's doing on the side, does that conflict with that county charter provision? I think it clearly does, but a judge ultimately would have to rule on that.
Yeah.
Well, Brad, to sum things up, you like what Aim Community Barrett's doing. There is no way in hell the mask mandate will be allowed after the judge rules on that. There's no way Sam Page and Eric Schmidt are working out a deal for people to wear masks. Kim Gardner will lose her law license after February.
How about that? I'm sorry, keep going.
And
What, are you taking notes? What, you got a
And-
stenographer
and-
in
He's
there?
like a paralegal over
and
here.
you can't use somebody's trademark saying even if it's bad and get away with it. I think I've summed it all up today.
Remember, Stairway to Heaven was a stolen song. Remember,
You
always
have
remember
said that before.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Brad, my man, we love you. We appreciate it. Have a great, great day, and we'll talk to you soon. If you have any updates, please keep us posted.
Will do. You guys are the best. Have a great day.
That
You better.
That was
I
a-
hope you kept that on
was
tape
a,
right
that
there.
was a sincere.
Yes.
You guys are
Exactly.
the best.
I'm telling you
Only
what.
because you're with us, Brad. Thanks again, bud. We appreciate
Brad,
it.
He's the best.
He is. He is. We got our own legal guy that just fell into our laps, which is great. Okay, that's the big story today, coming out of county council and what's going on with the mask. And it's interesting because 2 nights ago, my colleague Elliot Davis did a story about Shalonda Webb and Rita Hurd Days, the council chair, apparently facing a bunch of, I don't know, pushback, if you will, from their communities over mask mandates.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, several, and I mean several mayors held a press conference at county council backing Rita Herd Days and backing Shalonda Webb as being very intelligent black women knowing what they're doing, but also pushing for vaccines. So Elliot went and did that story yesterday. So if anybody, and then last night at county council, they had another vote on mask mandates. I don't know who brought the resolution up.
Oh, it's
but
so annoying.
For the third straight week, county council voted against, I repeat, all caps, against a mask mandate in St. Louis County. These are facts, not opinion. By a vote of 5-2, again, bipartisan vote against mask mandates. African-American women, Democrats from North County, voting with white male Republicans from West County against any mask mandates for the third straight week in a row, vote 5-2.
What do you think they see inside of their political bubble, the constituents that they have, that where they're voting against a mask mandate, when it's really easy for a community to come and overwhelm her? What do you think she's seeing? Why is she partnering with this? Are these people just overwhelmed with, I guess they feel that a mask mandate is not the
who
right
are you
thing.
talking about?
Yeah, I'm not sure who you're talking about.
The council members over in St. Louis County.
What are they, what? I'm sorry.
So the council members over there, they're voting 5-2 in favor of no
3
mask
weeks
mandate.
in a row.
Right, 3 weeks in a row. What are they seeing with their constituents? Because you just said they're trying to shock and awe them to say, no, we want you to vote for a mask mandate. Why are they not voting for these mask mandates?
Well, what we've heard from Council Chair Rita Herd Days is she wants Sam Page to appear before the council and present his data on why it's so important and why they need it. And Sam Page has refused.
So why isn't that a bigger story? Why
it is a story. We've done the story 3 times.
I know, but the story to press Page on the data, because I think all St. Louis people would love to see it.
He's been asked a million times.
If there was
and he
data, we'd
hasn't
know.
had press conferences in front of people now. And he's been asked a million times.
Interesting. Because it seems like there's so many things behind the scenes that people want to know. They want to know, do you really care about this data anymore?
There is no data.
The
If
data-
there was data, we would see the data because that would prove his point, but there is no data.
On the Fox 2 now.
And yes, it was me that hit Vic with the stun
On
gun.
Fox 2 now, St. Louis COVID numbers concern experts say that, but they're lowering. They're going down.
Well, last week, okay, follow this. Last Thursday, in the county, St. Louis County, COVID numbers were going down and going down big.
Yeah.
But the pandemic numbers regard all of the St. Louis metropolitan area. That goes into Illinois as well. Those numbers have been pretty high. Yes, we've had a little bit of an uptick in death, but the death toll is nowhere near where it was before. However, we still have had some death. But those numbers are starting to trickle down, which is good news from a metropolitan standpoint. But last week, if you actually look at the county website, and you can follow this, if you look at the county website, you can see the COVID numbers started to go down last week. They went down.
And this happened last year as well. If you remember last year, when we were starting to head into fall at the end of the summer, the numbers went down. Because
Isn't it
everyone
weird?
said, they'll go up in the fall, but they didn't. They went down.
This disease doesn't shoot up and just continue to shoot up and stay there. This disease does have this thing. It goes up at peaks, and then almost as fast as it came, it goes straight down. This is a bizarre disease in that way. And again, I'm bringing in data. I'm looking at the charts a lot, and that's one of the things I've noticed is that you don't see these outbreaks sticking around, putting people in
That's
hospitals.
probably because most communities have reached herd immunity. That's my personal opinion.
I agree with
I have
you.
no data to back it up, but I really do think that most communities have reached herd immunity.
I totally
because
agree.
to get to herd immunity, it's 60% of people in that community have either been vaccinated or have natural immunity, and that's how you reach herd immunity.
And-
so you're going to see spikes, but then it's going to come right
And
back
anything
down.
that Sam Page has, Vic, anything that he has acquired data-wise, any reams of information, isn't that public information? I mean, we paid for it, right? He didn't pay for it with a credit card.
Well, we don't know. Once again, if you knew, that's why the council wants to interview Sam Page in Chambers. Come to Chambers. Let's talk. Let's figure out this stuff. That's the problem because he hasn't. Right now, you're hearing, and we ran a story yesterday. Apparently, in the last week, there's been 180,000 COVID cases for kids in the last week. Okay, nationally. If that's true, obviously, there's no telling if flu's in there or not. When it comes to hospitalizations, and you have to be careful, while COVID is a very, very, very serious thing, And it can be for some, a few kids. It's not for most. I mean, according to stats, these are not my opinions. These are just facts.
Right.
Throughout the entire St. Louis metropolitan area of 2.8 million people, and I don't know what the breakdown is of kids who are 17 and younger or 18 and younger. Yesterday, there were 20 kids in the ICU or in hospital, not even ICUs, they were hospitalized for COVID in the entire St. Louis metropolitan area. So then we give you those stats, and no kids have died here. Is that alarming to you that 20 kids are in the hospital from COVID throughout the 2.8 million population of the St. Louis metro? And when you hear the St. Louis metro area, that's not just St. Louis. That's St. Louis City, St. Louis County. That's Jefferson County. That's St. Louis. I mean, it's St. Charles County, Lincoln. It's the Metro East. 2.8 million people.
Yep.
20 kids were in the hospital.
Yep.
I wouldn't want my kid to be in the hospital for sure.
No.
But is that concerning to you? That's for the individual to answer.
Yeah.
It's our job just to bring facts.
I got tetanus one time and I went to the hospital.
Ooh.
But I don't think they're going to stop kids from... I don't think they're going to stop kids from running around in the woods without shoes on, are they? It hurt.
Hey, you're listening to The Edge. Holy moly. That's already been an hour, man. We got an hour down. Hour of great radio. It's The Edge, fastest 2 hours morning talk radio. When we come back from break, we have your headlines. We've got more Eric Johnson analogies.
I'm going to wake up. I've only had one cup of coffee today, okay?
All right, that's good. You can give us
Chris,
a call.
go make me some coffee, bud.
The phone number 636-695-2915. We're having fun, but we got to talk a lot of Afghanistan coming up too now in this next hour, the latest. You're also going to hear from former President Donald Trump. Eric, there was an exit plan. There was a strategy, and President Trump talked about it last night.
Love to hear it.
You're going to hear it. That's coming up as well. Plus, we love it when you interact with us on the Facebook, 100.7 The Viper. Share the show as always. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2, back with more right after this.
Edge Morning Traffic.
Good morning, Molly Rose here. Time for another check of the commute on this Wednesday. A stall I-70 eastbound before Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. It's been moved over to the shoulder. Drivers are at the speed limit on 94 and 364 this morning. No delays getting across the Blanchette Bridge or the Boone Bridge into St. Louis County. Slowdowns have improved in North St. Louis County. Only a minor tap of the brakes headed through that ongoing construction in the westbound direction. I'm Fox 2's Molly Rose, and that's a look at your Edge traffic.
The Edge Morning Show. Back in a moment.
Go camping in style with weekend or full week rentals from Jay's RV in Warrenton. Jay's RV has rentals that sleep 4, 6, or 10 people. They even offer delivery and setup on your campsite, so you don't need a truck to haul it. Whether you're looking for a new or pre-owned RV, or you want to rent an RV for the family get-together, Jay's RV in Warrenton is the place for you. Sales and service the way it should be. Online at jaysrvrepair.com.
Our homes are where we feel the most happy, safe, and secure. So when you see cracked drywall, uneven floors, or basement wall cracks, you want to make sure it's fixed forever. Woods Basement Systems, the all things basement experts, can restore your home's value. So call toll-free at 888-900-1721 for a free estimate. Foundation problems don't get better with time, they get better with Woods Basement Systems. Discount offer from Woods at viperbasements.com. That's viperbasements.com.
If you want the best, don't settle for the rest. Come to F&S. F&S Collision Repair provides the best customer service, quality of work, paint color match, and paintless dent repair. They do it all. No job too big or too small. Just what your car or truck ordered. F&S Collision. Call today to schedule your appointment and get that car repaired. F&S Collision Repair.
Hi, it's Julie again with Ben's Moving and Storage in Wentzville, Missouri, located at the intersection of Wilmer Road and Interstate Drive. We offer on-site security and 24/7 access. We are proud to have served as your one-stop shop for all your moving and storage needs since 1984. Right now, we are offering $25 off moving or a free month storage for new customers. For more information, visit us at bensmovingandStorage.com, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook for future storage sales. Ben's Moving and Storage in Wentzville.
Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
Spectrum Glass is known for their quality work on windshields, but they do so much more. Spectrum Glass also specializes in residential, commercial, and automotive window tinting. Reduce the heat, reduce the fading, and increase your comfort with professional window tinting from Spectrum Glass. Serving St. Charles and surrounding counties since 1995, Spectrum Glass is still your premier company for windshield replacement. And with free mobile service, they come to you. 636-294-1800 on Facebook and SpectrumGlassOnline.com.
Viper weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Viper meteorologist Dave Murray. Another relatively quiet Wednesday. 88 for the high, partly sunny skies. There might be an isolated thunderstorm, but let's not worry about it. Really tough to find. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, 80s this evening, 74 the low. Thursday, partly sunny, a thunderstorm here and there, but again, pretty tough to find. More humid, though, Thursday, 88 count on scattered rain and thunderstorms on Friday, again around 88. From the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, The Viper.
Whipper River Electric, a Touchstone Energy cooperative.
Wake up.
The new abnormal.
This place is a nut house.
The Edge Morning Show. The Edge Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Got some headlines for you. Let's start with the Cardinals. They try to suck you back in. They got within 4 games out of the wild card, beating a bunch of sub 500 teams, and they play one of the best teams in the majors, the Milwaukee Brewers. Adam Wainwright was great again, only give up 2 runs at 6 innings. But Cardinals lose to the Brewers. They need to win the next 2 games at home to legitimately have a shot at anything. It's going to be tough. They got Jack Flaherty on the mound tonight, which is good, but Cardinals lost 2-0 last night. Well, many school districts are going to return to the classroom next week and this week for new school year, but guess what? Schools are facing shortages of teachers and substitutes. So state leaders say COVID made the lack of educators more prominent. So they're trying to lessen the requirements for substitute teachers to try to be able to get them in as quick as possible so that they can get some more teachers on board to help out in the schools that desperately need it. You may remember some of the other situations we've talked about. You also have schools now having a problem with bus drivers as well, having to alter start times for schools as well. Well, last night there was a meeting on mask mandates at another local school district, this time in the Fox School District. Well, they voted to implement. There will be mask mandates in place at the Fox School District. So whether you like it or not, you got it. Eric already talked about it. St. Louis area COVID numbers still a concern, but they have lowered not only in St. Louis County, where the numbers were the largest, but also across the entire St. Louis metropolitan area. The EPA is ordering Cahokia Heights, formerly known as Cahokia, to address sewage overflow issues. Even though there hasn't necessarily been a problem found yet, they're trying to be proactive in that situation. Circuit Attorney of St. Louis, Kim Gardner, her disciplinary hearing into the Eric Greitens investigation is scheduled for February. You heard our law expert, Brad Young. He is predicting that she's going to lose her law license, or at least it'll be suspended for a period of time. Unfortunately, there was a security officer shot outside of Rain Restaurant on Washington Avenue overnight. Never good to hear that. The battle over the St. Louis County mask mandate continues today with Eric Schmidt and St. Louis County Executive Sam Page. And St. Louis County and city say they are ready to accept 1,000 Afghan refugees. Let's look at your morning headlines. I'm Vic Faust.
This is the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to the one and only Edge, the fastest 2 hours of morning talk radio. 636-695-2915. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Hey, a little scheduling update for you. If you didn't know or weren't with us at the beginning of the hour, one of my colleagues, the great and personable and sweet Sandy Miller, retired last night. It was her last night on air, and she is going to spend an hour with us tomorrow in studio on the Edge from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. So join us for that. Sandy coming in studio. I told her she could wear a hat, too, if she wanted to.
Nice.
I said, Eric normally wears his hat forward. I wear one backwards. Yeah. You can come in and do whatever you want.
As long as she's comfortable.
I said, just don't wear all black.
So is she, have you ever sat down and just picked her mind or any of your colleagues about their political background, or is that just completely taboo?
you know where people kind of stand on certain issues, but we all kind of, I mean, I'm telling you, we all try to, in the newsroom, you try to handle things in an appropriate manner about where you are. So if you want to ask her, you can put her on the spot tomorrow.
Okay.
But she was our desks were like this for 6 years.
Yeah.
We sat right next to one another for 6 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we had the cool corner.
I'm always
Mandy's in front of me. Sandy's right to my left.
I'm always incredibly
Cool because
interested
of the two women, of course.
with you guys, because you have to read the copy that is presented to you, but you have opinions and views too. I can't wait to talk to her.
We write copy, Eric. It's
Well, I
not just
know.
what here you say this. You know, you're the last line of defense.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the job, shall I say, special, because you have to know what's going on and you have to know and be researched on every topic that you talk about.
You do. And I always wonder, so she's reading copy about the Taliban taking over Afghanistan and blah, blah, blah. What does she feel about that when she's actually reading it? She doesn't, you can't emote.
I
You
guess
can't
what,
emote.
Eric, you ask awesome questions. I think you ask the best questions on this show.
But I don't give the best answers.
Almost to Tabitha.
Hey, now.
I give Tabitha every opportunity.
No, and you can ask Sandy that question tomorrow.
I will.
I think
No,
that'd be
it's
a great question for her.
I mean,
so she'll be in tomorrow from 9 to 10.
Can she speak freely?
I don't know. She's not
Or
on
does she
TV.
feel like
She's
she
not on
needs to
TV
be
anymore.
Down the line like you have to be.
I believe she'll speak freely.
Because you can't really give an
I believe
opinion.
she'll speak freely. I do.
I don't think that there's any reason why you can't give your own opinion. You are mired in this information. There's no
But
reason
Vic
why
really
you can't.
He has to be right down the middle.
Vic
of the
doesn't.
line.
Vic doesn't. He doesn't. It's actually an art. I don't know kind of how you feel about a lot of these things, and that's an art.
By
to
the
stay
way,
in the middle.
somebody just asked me what happened to Bridget Mahoney. Bridget went to New York. She got a terrific job. She's doing, she got a weather job in New York. So she is off, loving that. Her and her boyfriend moved there. So Bridget was great here. Another Mizzou girl. Molly Rose, our traffic reporter, a Mizzou girl. So that's cool to see. Zara Barker, a Mizzou girl. So I like to see the Mizzou stuff going on. All right. So we'll talk with Sandy tomorrow. All right. This Afghanistan situation, it does not get any better. And there's still a lot of drama there. And we haven't talked about Afghanistan yet. And we're talking about it now. Yesterday, Eric, you and Tabitha were going back and forth in regards to Trump actually have a plan. Well, Trump was given the spotlight last night on Fox News. Of course, it was Fox News. He was given the spotlight. Interesting interview about Afghanistan. Here's a 2-minute clip of what the president had to say about what should have happened or what was supposed to happen when it came to Afghanistan and the spot that he was in and that America was in. Are we ready, Chris, for this? Or okay, so here's former President Trump speaking on the Afghanistan issue.
We have a military. It's holding it. You know, I got it reduced down to 2,500 soldiers, and they were doing a good job. It was fine. It was a smaller force. I took it down from close to 20 to 2,500, and we were fine. But we have the military there, and we take the military out before we took our civilians out, and before we took the interpreters and other. We want to try and help. But by the way, I'm America first, okay? The Americans come out first. But we're also going to help people that helped us. And we have to be very careful with the vetting because you have some rough people in there, but we're going to help those people. But can you imagine? Now, what we were going to do just very quickly is we were going to take the military out last, okay, last. The people were coming out. They were going to come out. But the agreement was violated, so I held things back because we weren't going to do anything, again, conditions-based. So they weren't fulfilling their obligations and conditions. But here's just to finish. The people come out first. Then I was going to take all of the military equipment. We have billions and billions of dollars worth of new Black Hawk helicopters, brand new, that Russia now will be examining, and so will China, and so will everybody else to figure it because it's the greatest in the world. We have brand new Army tanks and all sorts of equipment, missiles. We have everything. I was going to take it out because I knew they weren't going to fight. Just one thing, and I have to say, and this is different from everyone else, I said, why are they fighting? Why are these Afghan soldiers fighting against the Taliban? And I was told some very bad information by a lot of different people. The fact is, they're among the highest paid soldiers in the world. They were doing it for a paycheck because once we left, they stopped fighting. So all of the people that talk about the bravery and everything, I say everybody's brave. But the fact is, our country was paying the Afghan soldiers a fortune. So we were sort of bribing them to fight. And that's not what it's all about. It's a great thing that we're getting out, but nobody has ever handled a withdrawal worse than Joe Biden. This is the greatest embarrassment, I believe, in the history of our country.
Okay.
There's President Trump talking about what he had going on or what he wanted to see. And I'm sure he came out because you've already seen in some instances the Biden administration kind of lumping Trump into what you're seeing
of course they want
over
to
the
blame
last
him.
few days.
I don't think that Trump would have been as disheveled as the Biden administration. And for yesterday, I apologize to Tabitha if things got a little too heated. My thing is this. I feel like on this show, and you guys can be as, emotional as you want, and I'm emotional, no doubt. But my thing is I'm always trying to find the actual real answer, and I trust almost everything I say or I hear. And I want to stop doing that. I want to stop parsing fact from maybe
But
this is how you
have to be able
feel.
to speculate,
Right.
Eric. You have to be able to give opinion and speculate, or there wouldn't, there's no.
But I
point
want
us
to
being
speculate
here.
like yesterday when I saw the images of the Afghanis running after that C-19 and trying to get on it and finding them dead in the wheel wells of that plane. That's data. That's visual data right there. When I see the Taliban telling me face-to-face in a press conference yesterday, by the way, Vic, I don't know if you saw that or not.
Oh, yeah, we ran it.
Taliban had a press conference saying, everything's cool here. Everything's going to be fine.
It's part
and
of
now,
their being legitimate.
Yes.
Which is
PR.
a bunch of
Legit-
propaganda. And
But
propaganda.
and now, if you go on to Fox National, you'll see them beating the crap out of crowds that are protesting against the Taliban. It's a lie. What's a lie? What's the truth? That's all I'm saying. And that's kind of...
But a lot of, Eric, unless we're actually there, we don't know. We have to be able to use our deductive reasoning and read about it, see what we see on TV, read about it, talk to people there, and then you formulate an opinion or speculation or sometimes fact based on a lot of different places. Like yesterday, like I said, I know Trump has a plan. What it was, I don't know.
Okay, but the plan that he said yesterday...
Well, it was better than what Joe Biden had. That's for damn
I knew
sure.
that Trump would never have the plan that Biden did.
I
There's
don't-
no
I
way
don't-
Trump would have bungled that.
Of everything on the planet that should be top secret, it would be the plan to leave Afghanistan. We should not know crap, to be honest with you, because if we know something, Taliban knows something. Here's what should have happened. And everybody knows that the Monday morning quarterback is one of the easiest positions on the field. But here's the Monday morning quarterback. You have 10 to 20,000 American citizens roaming the country, not Kabul, but roaming the countryside, Kabul of Afghanistan. You have 80 to 100,000 people that help the U.S. military that will die. They will not make it another year if we don't get them out. That operation should have been going on for the last 24 months, secretly, behind closed doors. And then when we finally pulled out, and it's called an idiot check. Do you know what we do on stage when we leave a venue? We go around, we walk around, and we make sure we have everything before we get in the truck and leave. And that's what the United States military, the United States government did not do. We did it exactly the opposite. We should have made sure that nobody knew about this. And when we were home, the military went, hey, we haven't heard about Afghanistan in a long time. What's going on over there? We're not there anymore. So
what happened was inevitable. To me, it doesn't matter that they announced the dates. And in fact, even though Trump and both Biden administrations announced dates we would be leaving,
right.
It wasn't 100% because I know for a fact that almost all U.S. troops outside of 600 were out of Afghanistan by July 7th. The last troop left the prior Friday.
Right.
The last group of troops. So there were 600 that were left, which isn't really very many. And I think that they knew that, to me, the big bungle wasn't the timing. The big bungle was leaving all of that equipment there.
Oh, that's one of them.
undeterred.
Yeah.
Billions of dollars of equipment. And I'm not talking about the equipment they gave to the Afghan army. I'm talking about the equipment that was just left out in the open
They've
for no
admitted it,
reason.
though, too, now. Jen
They have
Psaki,
admitted it.
Jen
Yes.
Psaki
They have no
admitted.
choice.
What was it? $80 billion
They should have
in gear?
destroyed it.
In gear?
They should have destroyed it. Not the equipment the Afghan army was given and they were actively using, but the equipment that was just left there that U.S. troops were using. That's the equipment they left out in the open. They did the same thing in Iraq, and that's why ISIS and Al Qaeda rose. But they history repeats itself, and they allowed it to happen
This
again.
is something I saw yesterday. I wanted to ask you. So we're in South Korea. We're in South Korea to protect the South Koreans from their counterpart, their evil counterpart. We're in Japan still from World War II.
How about Taiwan from China?
We're in Taiwan-ish.
That's going to be the next big issue.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we're in Taiwan. We're in Germany. We are still actively in Germany and in Poland. Why would it be such a bad conversation on this show to say, you know what, we don't fight wars, but we do have Bagram Air Force Base, and if there are flare-ups, we're going to take action. And why would it have been so bad that the U.S. military didn't have a presence in Afghanistan? Say, look, we're not going anywhere. We got 10,000 troops here. You guys live your life and govern yourselves, but we're not going anywhere. This is our space.
Because our troops were being killed. That's why we can't keep people there. I mean, I know so many people who are in the military who have friends and family that were killed in Afghanistan. We can't continue.
Don't you think it would have been a good
troops'
idea to have a
lives.
presence in the Middle East like that?
Well, Biden wanted to continue to have a presence. He intended to leave those 600 troops there and have our U.S. embassy, but the Taliban moved through pretty swiftly, and we now have no option.
But the problem we have now is the fact that there are Americans reported outside of the capital city of Kabul.
Over 1,500, allegedly.
Outside of the
15,000,
ring of
15,000.
Taliban. So you're in a situation now where technically there's no official plan to get all of these Americans out, much less the Afghans who helped us. However, you now have some American officials tweeting out saying, well, we're going to get them out.
Oh, no, there's a plan.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
There is definitely a plan. I
Well,
know exactly what their plan is.
Can
That
you
is-
tell me,
that is
please?
one thing
Well,
I do
Can you
know.
tell me what
need
the
to let
plan
Fox
is?
News know because they're
Yeah.
not even
Yes.
reporting it.
And because-
And you know more than Fox News right now.
Can you
well,
tell me
a lot
what
of
it
times
is?
when you read the news, you do know more than national media.
Start from the
because
This
beginning.
is
you're way
reading the
ahead.
news.
Start from the beginning. How do you get 15,000?
Fox News, U.S. reportedly no plans to evacuate
I just saw the same
Americans
thing.
outside of Kabul.
Well-
However, Sullivan later tweeted that they're going to get Americans out.
There is a plan, and some
The
of the
safe
military
passage.
people I know have been talking about it on LinkedIn, and they've made it very public. There is a plan. What their plan is they are counting on taking the Taliban's word that the Taliban are going to deliver American citizens to the airport, and they are going to have several flights come in. I believe they're going to be able to remove 9,000 citizens per day. Is the plan right now?
No, that's because of the flight. That's not.
I
that's
know,
from flights.
but it's all part of the same plan. And so they
What
said
do you
that-
mean it's part of the plan?
Well, what the military guy...
How are they? You're saying that they're going to get Americans who aren't in Kabul
These are Americans
to Kabul via the Taliban.
via the Taliban. That is correct.
Okay, and all right, and then if you're
Because
an
they're saying
Afghan,
it's not safe to land planes in other parts of Afghanistan because the only area that's secured right now is the airport in Kabul.
Well, but
barely.
No, but this is direct. You've got to get Americans to Kabul.
You
who
got to get
aren't there.
Americans to Kabul.
Yes.
The Taliban
Yes.
are going to be the people who are going to extract Americans from their homes. They're telling Americans shelter in place, stay at your home. Taliban will come to your home. They will pick you
I bet
up.
they will.
They will take you to the airport, and
Wow.
we will be having a series of flights over several days taking
Can you
Americans
imagine?
out.
Try to put this in your mind. Imagine that we didn't beat the Nazis, but we just left Europe and we said the Nazis are going to get all of the Americans out of Europe and they're going to drive them all to Normandy
But
and
you're
they're going to
missing-
we're going to extract them from. Can you imagine?
No, but you're missing a part. The U.S. has we have a long history, a very long history of supporting the Taliban. We built the caves the Taliban's use. We have given aid to the Taliban over the years, and a lot of people don't understand this. But even while Americans were in Afghanistan for the past 20 years, Taliban still ruled over many parts
Correct.
of Afghanistan. They were never fully gone. We worked with them. We have funded them. We have given them equipment. I mean, we've done the same thing for all. We have to remember when Obama was in office, he brought the Muslim Brotherhood into the White House. He has always sympathized with Sunni radicals.
Okay.
That's the key. Shia and Sunni. The United States has always been
I
against
hope you're right.
the Shiites. We have always been for the Sunni. And guess what? 99.9% of all terror groups are Sunni.
They're not going to just bring Americans without getting something back. And by the way,
That's absolutely right.
I was referring to Fox National's website, not Fox 2. So make sure you understand.
So
the facts
right
there.
now,
so they're not going to just bring Americans or Afghans who helped us free of charge. It's
so
not
right
gonna
now,
happen.
what Vic just said, so just so that I'm clear, 15,000 Americans. They're not going to get them to the airport without getting something in return. So there's 15,000 hostages that we now have to deal with. Is that
well, they're
basically
not
it?
hostages.
Well,
the
that's
Taliban. There's two goals they have in mind right now. One, they want the United States out of Afghanistan. They want everyone to leave them alone so they can run their caliphate peacefully for themselves. And they want to terrorize the citizens of Afghanistan, which is exactly what they've already started doing. They want us out of there. That's one goal. The other goal, it's a PR stunt. I posted on my Facebook page a couple days ago. I'm like, don't listen to the propaganda. The propaganda is going to tell you that the Taliban, they're going to say, oh, we're different. We've changed. We're more progressive. We're going to allow women to have more rights. It's a lie. It's all propaganda.
It's for legitimization.
And exactly, because what they want is everyone in the world to look at them and say, oh, they're different. We're not going to worry about it as much. We're not going to feel like we need to go in there and fight them to get them out because they've changed. They're more progressive. And we're not going to see the atrocities we once did, but we will. They've already killed a woman. They just killed a woman yesterday for not wearing her burqa in public. And it's not going to change. There's nothing new about them. It's all propaganda.
And speaking of flights, did you guys happen to see how about the crew on that C-17 that took off with 600 souls on board that was not authorized?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
yes.
That aircraft was not authorized.
Soldiers couldn't get the ramp up fast enough.
Right.
So they raced onto the plane. That's the picture that you saw all over Fox News, that you saw in Fox 2 and other places across the country and online.
Because that was a cargo plane.
Let me throw it to you this way.
They raced in. So then the pilot, look, what do I do?
Well, there's 4 of us in this room. The C-17 had a crew of 5 on it. They were taxiing down to the runway, and there was a back door you were able to open it.
Oh, so a little back door, not the whole ramp.
And they noticed that people were jumping on board the plane, and they were actually entering the plane. Mm-hmm. So the pilots and the crew at that point, a crew of 5, had to make a decision. What are we going to do?
So there were no military on board to defend them off?
It was a cargo plane.
It was a crew of 5. So they had to make a decision. What are we going to do? You know what the crew did?
They took off.
They stopped the plane.
Yeah.
They opened the hatch, and they packed the plane with 600 plus Afghans and took off.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that they did. They had no choice there, Chris.
Absolutely.
I'll call them heroes, but they had to. They had to. And that cargo plane is built for 150 people, by the way.
I know.
Right.
How it got off the ground is amazing,
and they weren't even allowed to release the cargo. So they were worried about weight limits because not only did they have the cargo, they were supposed to be dropping off, but then they had
it's like a Rambo movie.
Hundreds of people. It is a lot like a Rambo movie.
This is worse than Saigon. I'm sorry.
Of course it is.
This
much
is
worse.
Optically,
not even close. And did you see where the vice president is going on a trip now?
No.
She's headed to Saigon.
You got to be kidding me.
Why?
No, you can't make this stuff up.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, you can't make it up.
Why?
And she's catching some flack from people who don't agree with her public opinions on doing that.
That's insane.
She needs to cancel that like immediately.
I know it's raising eyebrows, and because she's planning on going there as this Afghanistan situation goes on, and of course the comparison. And right now, she said, or at least as of 2 days ago, she had no plans to cancel her upcoming trip to Singapore and Vietnam.
What is going on in this world?
The problem is the timing couldn't be any worse, regardless of where you are from a political standpoint. And I think it's pretty clear with everything that's going on.
So the plan is this. Last Wednesday, we're going to put Joe Biden in his nursing home over at Camp David. We're going to then extract everybody. There's going to be a little bit of fallout, but Joe will be able to weather it in Camp David, not answering any questions. It got so bad that the entire United States population said, you screwed this up so bad, he had to come back to the White House. Now he goes back to Camp David, and his vice president is on her way to Saigon, where it is a complete simile comparison.
Yeah, it doesn't. No,
it's unbelievable.
It doesn't look good. The optics are horrible. It makes you wonder what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen, but you can see Democrats staying clear of Biden. You do.
Big time.
They're staying clear.
Big time.
I don't know. I don't know. It's all speculative. I don't know if he's going to make it through the term. I know a lot of people speculated The whole deal was for him. People who are against Biden were saying that there's no way he was going to make 4 years. Kamala would be president. And that's why she was staying away from the border, staying away from controversy, staying away from anything, because she would assume the role.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we've heard people say on the show, right?
Yeah.
That's what people have said.
Democrats don't throw themselves under the bus, though. They don't throw their generals under the bus or their colleagues under the bus. They stick
don't.
together. And again, I will never back down from this. The Democrats, conservatives need to learn from what they're doing, because you're not going to get any other president, if this was a Republican, would have the entire cabinet would be asked for their resignation. The entire cabinet, the top generals would be either demoted or thrown into others. Democrats, they are Teflon. Nothing sticks to them at all.
This whole situation is interesting with the vice president, because she was a part of this decision, and she said she was. I mean, she said when they made this decision back in April that she was the last person in the room with Biden when they decided to pull the U.S. troops out of Afghanistan and this plan. Now,
she's as much of a puppet as anyone else.
Well, I mean, but it's just everybody. You're accountable.
I'm starting to believe what she said. There's a varsity squad behind the scenes, and I feel like it's the Obama administration.
Several people say.
So why?
It's the puppet master, and Obama. Obama, in my opinion, was a puppet, just like Biden is. They're all obeying the puppet master, whether that's Soros or a group of people.
That seems illegal to me.
Know.
That seems completely
illegal.
Well,
it is illegal.
But it's not, because we don't know about it. We don't know what memos are getting passed to the White House.
It doesn't matter. We can see their actions. We saw under Obama that the fact that they supported terrorists. Anybody can look up Timber Sycamore. That was the program. Or look up Train and Equip, and you will see that we actually, our country, the United States, funded. It was the highest paid project ever undertaken by the CIA. $500 million went to Al-Qaeda terrorists to train them in Syria to oust Assad. We were never there to fight ISIS. We assisted ISIS, and people don't want to talk about it, but it's fact.
First question is, don't you start to wonder if our CIA or whoever our informational services are giving bad information? Because if you think that you can go train these guys and they're going to take out these guys, it doesn't seem like they have an amazing track record of being very good at what they do. If we tell the Biden administration to extract everyone now, we feel that the Afghan army can hold off these guys for 90 days. Nah, maybe 4. I mean, seriously, don't you start to wonder, how is our information services really working over here anymore?
It's what they tell us is the truth, because the truth is, and some soldiers in Afghan, some in Syria, some in every other Middle Eastern countries, they go wherever pays them the highest. If it's a Taliban that pays the highest,
you're right.
they're
Yes,
fight
you're
for the
absolutely
Taliban.
right
and
on
that's
that.
what Trump was talking about in his press conference last night,
it's
which is
actually
why
right.
the Afghan army didn't stand up for themselves, because as soon as we stopped paying them, they laid down.
Paycheck's over, we're out of
Because
here.
it wasn't about freedom,
They have
our
to support
country,
their families.
our pride
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
It was about money and safety. It wasn't Hollywood Mel Gibson movies.
Yeah.
And that's what it was in
The
Syria
Patriot.
as well.
There's no Paul Revere's over there.
Well, not in that climate, in that situation, because there's so many other things at play as well. Hey, we got to take a quick break. You're listening to The Edge. When we come back, we'll talk about the Afghans coming to St. Louis.
Hey! Is that a band?
What would
Live at the pageant, the Afghans?
Oh. Well, Afghanistan refugees are coming to St. Louis. Some arrived last night, we were told. So they're in St. Louis. St. Louis, one of 19 cities on the list.
Let's get them on the
where
air.
Refugees can pick their cities. St. Louis, one of them. We'll talk about that. Take your questions, 636-695-2915, and or comments. And, of course, on Facebook, we're trying to keep up. Share the show, 100.7 The Viper. You can catch us at ViperRocks.com. More right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Grab your coffee. The Morning Edge will be right back on 100.7 The Viper.
Contractors Flooring Supply is your Mohawk Revwood Select dealer. This is water-resistant wood flooring without compromise. In stock with free underlay at just $287 a square foot. Contractors Flooring Supply has solid, rigid core, waterproof plank stock. They carry a huge inventory for the do-it-yourselfer, or Contractors Flooring Supply will do the installation for you. Always free estimates at Contractors Flooring Supply, next to the new Rural King, Warrenton.
One of the things we're so dependent upon is our automobiles. There's no worse feeling when you go out to your car and it won't start. Oh, man. Tired of trying to find an honest, reliable mechanic for your car and truck? Town and County Garage in Wright City has kept the Westplex on the road since 1972. The biggest compliment to a company is repeat customers and referrals. When you need honest, reliable, and affordable auto repair from inspections, brakes to engine work, call Town and County Garage in Wright City, 636-745-3626.
Since 1987, Illy HVAC has taken care of your heating and cooling needs. Call Illy HVAC today at 314-808-2162. 314-808-2162.
John Lang here, owner of Mountaintop Motor Company. I was 25 when I started my company with 5 cars, and I knew one thing for sure, that I wasn't going to be like other car dealers. I had a clear intention to be truthful and honest with everyone, and that I would treat people the way I wanted to be treated. I would offer an excellent product at a great price. I wanted something I could stand behind and be proud of, in a place that made people feel comfortable and at ease. I absolutely wanted to aim higher.
Hey, listeners, it's Steve here at the radio station, and you should check out Mountaintop Motor Company, one of the area's coolest dealerships. It's like Western Lodge meets Midwest. Canoes from the ceiling, free beer, and friendly staff. The staff is laid back, not pushy at all, and they're knowledgeable. Mountaintop gets most of their trucks from out of state, so a lot are rust-free. They have lots of diesel trucks, custom trucks, work trucks, and just really clean trucks. They got 1,000 5-star reviews. Now these guys know how to make people happy. MountaintopMotors.com and on Facebook and Instagram.
You want a great job, and you want it now. Steel and Pipe in Jonesburg is hiring warehouse specialists right now for second and third shifts. Get great pay and awesome benefits like production bonuses, 401k with employer match, and paid holidays, plus medical, dental, vision, and supplementary insurance. Find out more and apply online at steelandpipe.com. Steel and Pipe in Jonesburg is looking for the right people right now. Apply in person or online at steelandpipe.com.
Keep your resolution to quit cigarettes this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. I Quit Vapor carries the salt nicotine systems, their latest juice flavors, and all of their pod systems. Let their staff explain why the salt nicotine system is so effective in helping you to quit cigarettes for good. It has a much smoother delivery and allows you to adjust the amount of nicotine intake. I Quit Vapor is still your one-stop shop for everything vapor. Keep your quit cigarette resolution this time. Go to I Quit Vapor, 852 Bryan Road, O'Fallon. Puff bars and disposables now available.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. You're listening to The Edge. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday. Hope all is well. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. Eric, are you wearing a pick around your neck?
The heart.
It looks like a
guitar
pick.
Guitar pick.
Is that a PRL guitar pick?
Is that like what?
Is
Is that what rock guys do? They wear picks on necklaces.
Well,
you know, some
earrings.
athletes wear necklace. They
Yeah.
wear like a number, like
Yeah.
a gold number on their chain.
Yeah. It's totemistic.
So you wear a pick. That's cool, man.
Why not?
Is there like an inscription on there?
It says EJ.
Like, I
Eric
love
Johnson.
mom. It's EJ.
EJ.
Can you show people your pick?
Not
I said your pick.
Watch your mouth.
Let's see it. Put it up to the camera.
I will later. I'm drinking coffee right now.
Hey, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Could you go to the Fox 2 Now Facebook page? And apparently Sam Page is talking.
Oh.
I'd be curious.
Why
to-
do you want to?
Yeah, no, I'd like, absolutely, because it's very important if it's about this, quote, mask mandate situation and a judge ruling, and if anything had come into play with Eric Schmidt. We already know the judge told Eric Schmidt's people and Sam Page's people to hopefully come up with something regarding some sort of truce with masks, but you either wear mask or you don't. It's either a mandate or it's not. It's not kind of here or kind of there. And we know that state law is on the side of HB 271, which gives St. Louis County Council power to overrule any directive that Sam Page gives regarding any sort of health orders in St. Louis County. It's pretty simple. I mean, I cover this stuff on a daily basis. There is no mask mandate right now because of a temporary injunction that was put in place by the judge. So if Sam Page is talking about that right now, yeah, I would like to hear what he had to say. So keep us posted when it comes to that. When it also comes to Sam Page, he and Tashara Jones last night came out and said they are welcoming 1,000 Afghan refugees to the St. Louis area, that they had put that in place. So we were told that they were coming as early as last night, and that could be what this press conference is about as well, regarding Afghan refugees coming to the St. Louis area, because that would be something, I guess, more of a positive nature to show, hey, we care, come to our cities.
Okay.
We're one of 19.
I agree. Are they vetted? Do they have diseases? What is their background story?
We don't know yet.
I think if anybody in the planet Earth deserves to be a refugee to this great country, it'd be the Afghanistani people.
There's no question. We have a large Afghan community already in St. Louis, but vetting is very important. But like I said yesterday, vetting vetting Muslims is not easy. It will take time.
How many of those thousands of people that we just brought into St. Louis participated in a Al-Qaeda retreat somewhere and was sympathetic to the causes of Al-Qaeda?
Well, you'll never know. That's just it.
Well,
From
that's
the
called
Facebook
vetting.
line, why not send them to Pakistan? I
Can't.
think the Pakistani
Pakistan-
government
Borders
would have
closed.
to approve of that.
Well, Pakistan is actually against Afghans for the most part. Pakistan is actually the country who is funding the Taliban, so they do not want Afghans coming to their country. They're treated very badly there, by the way.
I would not mind talking. I don't know if they speak English, but I would love.
Most do speak as good English as we do.
I would love to sit down with a 2-hour show on the edge with one of them and say, please tell us what it's like over there. We would love to know what the day
I talked
in.
to somebody. I've been messaging back and forth with a guy from Afghanistan for the past couple of days, a pharmacy student who's living there, and it's a tough situation going on right
You
now
think?
over there.
The understatement of the day.
Checkpoints. They have checkpoints everywhere. Women right now are not allowed to leave their homes at all. They cannot step outside of their homes, even with their burqa on. They cannot. They cannot work. They can't go to school. They can't drive. They can't do anything. At some point, they will be able to leave their homes, but a lot of them didn't have time to go and buy a burqa, so they don't even have the proper attire to leave their home because they didn't have to wear burqas.
So from the
under the other forces,
I don't know what's going on over here in production, but in the reality of the world is this: the Gloria Steinems, where are you? Because you have now just shut down every woman right on an entire country that they had 1 week ago. They are not there anymore. So where's
these
the
women
where's
are in
the
a dire situation?
Where are the FEMA defenders out there that think it's horrible for a Jeffrey Weinstein to be walking around?
Eric,
why don't you go put your spotlights over there in Afghanistan? These women now have to wear a burqa. They can't go to salons anymore. They can't drive a car. Their post education is over. What? This is when I was heartbroken the other day watching this stuff.
It is heartbreaking.
It was some of this. I knew we were going to get our American citizens out of there one way or another. I knew that the military would be able to wrap up this operation, and I knew that the Klieg lights and the cameras would turn off, and eventually we would forget about this, maybe to the extent that we forget about Vietnam. But in the background, But in the background, there's these women, there's these children, there are these Christians.
And men, too. Everyone in Afghanistan right now, not only women have it the worst, I think, because obviously a 12-year-old is going to be pulled out of their home and married to a Taliban fighter, which is just disgusting. And there's nothing we can do about it. But guess what, Eric? Think about this. This is where liberals stand. Right now, we know President Trump, many conservatives have been banned on Twitter, Facebook, social media platforms. Guess what? The Taliban is still there. They are still tweeting.
I know it's
messages.
unfortunate, and that should be talked about and not ever forgotten about, because everybody should have a voice.
You know what? We have short attention span.
terrorists.
We have a short attention span in this country. People get their look. We got overwhelmed with this news, but our minds can't keep it going forever. So this story will dissipate, but these people over there will not dissipate, and they'll have to deal with this for the rest of their lives.
The county health department is speaking right now. I believe it's Spring Schmidt talking about the cases of COVID in the St. Louis County area. Sam Page started the press conference up, and then now it appears that this press conference is all about COVID, and the dire situation of cases right now. So we'll join it. I believe this is Spring Schmidt talking.
Cases that we're seeing are among the unvaccinated. We have also been seeing an increase in vaccinations among children ages 12 to 19 who are currently eligible for that. However, this is also quite a bit lower than what we're seeing in the rest of the county. So 42.9% of children ages 12 to 19 who are eligible for the vaccine in St. Louis County have initiated at least one dose. So that is still very concerning to us, especially considering that we are really looking forward to the start of a school year within the next week or 2 weeks for most St. Louis County children. And we want to make sure that we can increase that vaccination rate in order to keep that as protected as possible as we move forward. So our vaccination rates among our children are lower than it is for the rest of the population. We have also been seeing racial differences in the uptake in vaccinations among our children. We partnered with SLU, who has been working with us to analyze a significant portion of our data and provide some additional bandwidth to our team. But they have been calculating the uptake rates among children by race. And so for ages 12 to 15, you can see that there is a pretty significant difference in the initiation of vaccine among our young African-American residents in St. Louis County versus white or Asian residents in St. Louis County as well. So there is a difference in uptake. And so there is a lot of conversations that need to happen among families, among community members, among medical providers, and those that they treat in order to have good conversations about the value of vaccination. The last thing that I want to talk about is you may have heard a lot of things about breakthrough cases in this. You are 3 times currently more likely to catch COVID if you are unvaccinated. Yes, we have had some breakthrough cases among the vaccinated. Those are mild. They very rarely result in any severe disease or hospitalization or death, very, very rarely. But they also do prevent a lot of catching COVID out in the community when the transmission is this high. So you are 3 times more likely in St. Louis County right now to catch COVID if you are unvaccinated. So when we put all of these things together, these are a dashboard of the kinds of things that the Department of Public Health looks at every day and see how these things change over time. We do look at a lot of other things too, but these are some of the most relevant statistics that we watch all the time to try to identify what the state of our community is. We are focusing right now on schools. We are headed into back to school. We've been working very hard with superintendents and school nurses and school staff to provide good mitigation advice about how school can be as safe as possible as we enter in. But it is important that we tell everybody that the Delta variant is different. Kids are catching and spreading COVID, both within school and then back to their families or other people in their community at a rate we did not see last year. It is different. Masks prevent COVID. So does distance, airflow, and vaccination. And we have been having strong conversations with all of our school leaders about their ways in which they can do that to keep kids as safe as possible. Low COVID cases help keep kids in school, help keep parents at work, and help keep our community kind of moving forward in those very important issues. We do expect an increase in school-related cases. We will see additional outbreaks, just given the sheer volume of the number of kids that will be going back to school. But we do feel like our schools have strong mitigation practices and are working hard to keep those as vigilant and diligent as possible as we move forward. But we do have to have a lot of strong conversations about how all eligible children, as well as all of the adults that are interacting with them, do get vaccinated in order to keep that environment as safe as possible. DPH, as I said, does continue to focus on community outreach, communication, and local neighborhood clinics in North County. That 7.5% increase in those 6 target zip codes is something that we're very excited about, even if they are modest increases, because those are the results of a lot of individual conversation, grassroots work, boots on the ground, Department of Public Health staff, and all of their community partners working individually with people to talk to them about these opportunities. The lowest rates of vaccination are in those areas.
All right, you've been listening to Spring Schmidt with the St. Louis County Health Department. We were waiting to see what the press conference was about when we saw Sam Page. Clearly, it's about what the health department says is a major concern with cases amongst kids. You know, you can say whatever you want and think whatever you want, and that's kind of where we are right now. But nobody wants to get COVID. We get that. I didn't hear the one number though right now, and you pray it doesn't get any larger. But once again, in our St. Louis metropolitan area, there are 2.8 million people, actually more than 2.8 million people. And yesterday there were 20 kids in the hospital because of COVID. Maybe that's concerning to some, maybe it's not, but 20 kids were in the hospital. The numbers, I wish that she would have talked about, and I like Spring Schmidt. I think she does a good job, and go figure. There's a new PR firm involved in who's given us the numbers. It's Spring Schmidt. It's not Sam Page. It's the county health department who is bringing those numbers. So I don't know. They didn't talk about. They're saying it's COVID, so they're telling us they know that it's not flu, but we haven't heard about any flu numbers either, though. I don't know. I want to see it all as a reporter, journalist. I'm trying to look at every single number we can add to the table so everybody can take away what they truly need to take away from.
St. Charles County, since the beginning of all this garbage, 48,000 people in St. Charles County have reported, not had, but reported COVID. There's probably 3 times that amount, maybe 4 times that amount that have actually had COVID in St. Charles County. Check this out. Still to date, only in this, one death is too many, as they say, but 489 people have passed away from COVID-19. And we all know that the real kindling, the real firewood in this thing was the retirement communities at the beginning of this thing. They weren't checked out. We weren't segregating them. We know that that's where a lot of the deaths came from. We're starting to make our own decisions. We're starting to see our own data. And they even presented the data to us to make a case that masks don't work. They really said a lot of things in there that, hey, masks maybe don't work. St. Louis County deaths right now in the last rolling day, in last averages, and I'm looking at them right now. Most days, there's 0 deaths because of COVID-19 in St. Charles County.
Yeah, in St. Charles County.
0 deaths. In that scenario, with kids outside hanging out together, football practices going on, soccer practices going on, kids are in classes right now getting ready to go, they're hanging out with their friends. How does putting a mask on these kids turn the tide one way or another?
It's a great analogy, Eric. How come you need a mask in St. Louis County, but you don't in St. Charles County, but St. Charles County
is kicking their ass,
still doing better?
And
that's a great point from a black and white standpoint of looking at evidence, no matter how you feel about vaccinations or masks or whatever.
And it was the same with shutdowns. I mean, there was a time when you crossed the river, everything was shut down in St. Louis City and St. Louis County, but it was never shut down in St. Charles County.
Nothing has happened. Nothing.
So what's the difference between St. Louis County and St. Charles County?
Let me put one more piece of data out there. St. Charles County had a 25% uptick in residency. So our density is even getting bigger. And St. Louis County and St. Louis cities is getting smaller. So we also have more people over here.
Well, there's about 500,000 people in St. Charles County.
That's a lot for this area. That is a lot for the square footage of because people live in a small box around here, right? They live down all the way to Weldon Springs, all the way up to Highway K. So that's a lot of people in this small little plot of land.
More spread out.
Yeah.
And that is some of the difference. Like in the city, people are obviously, it's an urban area. They're closer together.
Right.
But I really don't think it makes any difference. I think all of the data says COVID is not really transmissible outside. I'm not aware of any people who've had COVID transmitted outside. And we know that people do transmit COVID inside, but it doesn't matter whether you have a mask on or not. It's aerosolized.
Don't you feel like this might be the conversation that Eric Schmidt and Sam Page have in the next few days? Exactly what you're hearing in this room.
Probably not as civil.
It would be like, Sam, thank you for coming in. Have a seat over there.
He will never
Once again,
give up.
Sam Page and Eric Schmidt are not talking. It's their attorneys who were allegedly talking. And what's interesting is this press conference all of a sudden now brought a number right today, right before the judge is going to have to make a decision on the mask mandate according to state law. It's very interesting, the timing of everything. And there's no doubt that we are picking up cases with kids. There's no doubt. They were focusing on kids today. But once again, I just need somebody to please give us some flu stats as well.
Yeah.
We need give us the flu stats.
No one cares about flu anymore.
You've got
remember?
to give flu stats along with these COVID stats so that everybody knows the difference. And then give the hospitalization stats of 20 kids in St. Louis.
None of that matters, Vic, because they want to shut down.
And none of the kids have died. And the survivability rate still. I know. I mean, hey, I'm not against anybody thinking whatever they want to think. I'm just about bringing facts to the table of information, scientific studies.
They
and
don't
then
care.
let people
None of
make
that,
up their own decisions.
None of that matters. I have talked to, I'm blue in the face with a lot of liberals about this exact subject. You know what they tell me? One death is too many. One child dying is too many. And so we need to lock everything down, put everyone in masks because we shouldn't even have one death. But yet they completely fail to think about all of the other illnesses that kill people.
If the government was this concerned about how communicable diseases and people interacting with other people, AIDS, gay people would be outlawed from having sex. It is exactly, that's how AIDS is spread. Why is there no mandate against that? Why is there no mandate if you're so concerned about human life? This one seems obvious to me. Why not mandate against gay people having sex?
There are mandates. I mean, a person, if you...
Is there?
Yeah, if you have HIV and you know you have HIV, you are required by law to notify any partners.
That's the same with COVID.
HIV.
That's the same with COVID. If you get COVID
and they
you're...
do prosecute people for not notifying someone.
Okay.
You know what? I think Spring Schmidt did, and I think you're wrong, right, rather, from the Facebook line. Correct me if I'm wrong. This comes from the Facebook line, Paul. Quote, correct me if I'm wrong, but did she say that kids are spreading the new Delta variant in schools?
She did.
What schools have been open
exactly.
that people have that type of data already?
I would like to know as well.
Because they're setting the stage.
Somebody else asked, she said that masks stop COVID spread. Where's the scientific evidence or data
none.
from that?
There is none.
These are questions being asked.
And what about the Lambda variant? Do you know the Lambda variant is in the St. Louis area now?
From the Facebook line, carbon dioxide you breathe from having a mask on lowers your immune system. Be careful.
I think the bottom line is this: it's enough is enough. Again, we talk about it on this show. If I'm Sam Page, I go, guys, how you doing? My name is Sam Page. I have a little bit more charisma than I actually had yesterday. I want to talk to you a little bit about this Delta variant. It's important to talk about. It's dangerous. There's no mask mandate in St. Louis County. I would like to recommend that you wear masks. I would like to recommend that you stay as safe as you can. We are here to support you, but there's no mask mandate.
Well,
that's all he has to do.
Well, I just got a text too from an interview, a guy who's actually been on our show before, and I brought this up last week, and I'll try to ask these questions as well, just so we understand testing. Wanting to get clarity on new testing methods, and for anybody else who actually goes and gets tested, or for anybody else to ask their school officials, their doctors, anybody to make sure to ask what kind of testing do we have right now? Since this is this new PCR testing, or is it the old PCR? Because PCR testing, as we have been told, doesn't differentiate between the flu and COVID. So are they using new tests to differentiate, or are they just guessing or saying that it's COVID when it could be the flu?
Yep.
I don't know. I've never
People
had a
don't care.
PCR test.
Here's the deal. People don't care. I can't wait for the first day of school where these buses are cruising down the street. Friday night lights.
Another good point.
Nobody's wearing masks. Nobody's wearing masks at the football games. No one's wearing masks. I'm telling you right now.
Well, we'll see. From the Facebook line, she spewed off a bunch of lies. She even said the vaccine can prevent you from getting COVID and spreading it.
Which we all know is a lie.
That's not true.
Know that's false now.
It's not true.
That you can spread it if you have, but you won't get as sick. That's what
Most
the messaging
people.
needs to be said. But I don't know if Springs said that, though.
I think someday we're going to find that people who've been vaccinated can actually get just as sick as
And
people
die.
who are unvaccinated and die.
Well, they can, but
we're just not there yet.
We're told, at least the Pandemic Task Force told us, that most of the breakthrough cases are people with comorbidities. They're fully vaccinated, but they have comorbidities.
But most Americans have comorbidities.
I asked an LPN buddy. I said, tell me about this vaccine, this breakthrough stuff. They don't know everything, but you know what he did say? He goes, I heard reports that some of these vaccines get contaminated with temperature and they don't get refrigerated the whole way and they become inactive. I go, what? I go, seriously, you can put something in someone's arm? He goes, yeah, from the plate, it has to
well,
be
they have
a
quality
certain
controls in place, allegedly, to keep that from happening. But I think we're going to see more and more vaccine deaths, people dying from COVID who've been vaccinated, because there's already over 10 now. And as cases continue to grow, I think we're going to see more. And unfortunately, the majority of Americans, quite honestly, are not healthy. Most Americans do have comorbidities, whether it's being overweight or whether it's having inflammation. A lot of those things can be comorbidities.
It's an amazing
with COVID.
social experiment. People, here it is. Here's your social experiment. I have in my right hand freedom. I have in my right hand, you can do anything you want. You don't have to be impeded in life. In my left hand, I have a little bit more guarantee that you're going to be safe. I have a little bit more. You're going to have a vaccine. You're going to have a mask. You're going to social distance from everybody. You won't be free, but there's a 20% chance that you might not get COVID-19. Which one do you want? Overwhelmingly, people are voting with their right hand. They want freedom. They want baseball games. They want rock concerts. They want football games are coming up. It's going to be very interesting to watch the Raiders out in Los Angeles, Vic, because now to get into that,
Vegas.
now to get into that stadium, you have to show a passport.
Yeah,
baby.
we talked about that yesterday.
Raider Nation, you need a passport.
Yep.
Woo!
We said it yesterday. Be curious to see what happens. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come right back. We'll get another segment in here before we say goodbye. You're listening to The Edge, 100.7 The Viper.
Edge Morning Show.
I never miss it.
Mom, Ethan's in the tree again.
Ethan, get down.
Can I climb on the swing set instead?
Sounds like it's time to get all your adventure-seeking kids to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. They'll soar on Thunderbird, race against each other on Cheetah Chase, the first launched water coaster, and get the thrills they love on all the wooden roller coasters. Get your family fun off the ground at holidayworld.com.
Free smoking, free parking, free sunscreen!
Hey, it's Shanny from the Legendary Lunch, and I want to tell you about my friends at Mascot's Bar and Grill, 4881 Mexico Road in St. Peters, right by the Recplex. And if you are looking for a place to hang out with your friends, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. If you want delicious food, it's Mascot's Bar and Grill. From their appetizers like the giant pretzel, this thing is bigger than your head, to the steak sandwiches, the value menu, to the legendary lunch special. That's right, Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 3, you go in and tell them that you're FOS, you're a friend of Shanny's, and you want the legendary lunch special. It's a $5 half-pound burger and fries. That's right, $5 half-pound burger and fries. Better than any fast food burger you will ever have. And on Sundays, all day long. That's right, the legendary lunch special goes all day long on Sundays. Stop by and say hi to Jen and Rob. You will have a great time. Musical bingo, food, fun, friends, and family. It's Mascot's Bar and Grill.
Welcome to MegaNet. For slow internet, press 1. For indifferent customer service, press 2. For confusing pricing, press 3. For extremely long wait times, stay on the line. You are 87th in line, 85th in line, 87th in line, 85th in line, 85th in line.
Where there was frustration, now there's satisfaction.
Hello, this is Helen at Gateway Fiber. How may I help you?
Isn't it time you refreshed your internet provider? For more information, visit gatewayfiber.com.
Hi, this is Eric Joya, sales manager at the all-new Travers Automotive and RV at I-70 and TR Hughes. I'm personally inviting you to come see our awesome selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Travers Automotive and RV has the largest inventory of lifted trucks and Jeep Wranglers in the market. Our new location also has RVs from Mesa Ridge and Open Range, and a huge selection of pre-owned as well. Come see me and my team at Travers Automotive and RV, I-70 at TR Hughes, TraversAutoandRV.com.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. We got about a minute left. Thanks for listening to The Edge today. Once again, tomorrow, look forward to have some fun at our 9 o'clock hour. Sandy Miller, formerly of Fox 2 News. So you want to join that? Monday, Colonel Joe Adams. Colonel Joe is going to join us Monday. We'll talk about what's going on in Afghanistan. We'll talk about how the border plays into all of this and how what's happening at the border, guess what, hasn't stopped. Apparently, it's still a disaster, and the bad reports are still coming up. Nothing has gotten better from the border just because there's been another big story that we're talking about now, Afghanistan, not the border. But apparently the border is still a disaster. and nothing has changed. And that's what we're going to talk to Colonel Joe about come Monday morning at 8:20. So we're looking forward to having Joe join us then as well, guys.
Awesome. I cannot wait. So many questions, and you just want to hear him riff.
Thank you,
know?
Eric, for talking because Tabitha totally checked out a long time ago. I was like, look, I mean, she's
Or you're
just.
finishing things up and I'm not trying to throw anything in there at the last second.
I have no intention of going against Tabitha anymore because these Facebookers, they're crazy about Tab.
We need to have
That's
Viper,
the name of your new television
we need to
show.
have Viper The Edge t-shirts made with Team Tabitha and Team Eric, Team Vic, and
I might
Team
be
Chris.
forced to actually wear one of those damn things.
That's all right.
We'll give all the money to charity.
You've snowballed a lot, or snowed a lot of people. Is that what the correct?
Snowballed a lot of people. Yeah, I don't think so.
I just worked.
Thanks for listening to our wonderful show. We appreciate it. That was a fast 2 hours again, guys. It seems like it gets faster every morning. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, and Vic Faust of Fox 2. Have an awesome day. We will check back with you guys tomorrow, and we'll see you tonight for Fox 2 News at 5 and 9.
Shanny's up next, and Dan Bongino is up for others. Have a great day.